Bad deals only.
So, Nick, thanks for coming on your own podcast.
I am very happy to be here. So we obviously, Seth, we talk about deals often.
Tons.
Our own deals we have together, other deals with other people involved. And I think you made a great observation a couple weeks ago that, hey, we kind of talk about a lot of the, disastrous things that happen in real estate.
Yes.
Maybe we should let the world into our insight about what we think about these deals and how they go down.
Because everyone wants to know the drama, right? Like no one wants to hear about, hey, I had a very successful real estate transaction with Nick Nardone from Touchstone and Seth. Everything was great. They want to know when the house caught on fire, what happened. They want to know all of the tea about when the people didn't move out on time.
Oh yeah, I call that just a regular Friday.
Which has happened. And so we had this idea, like we should just only do a podcast and talk about bad deals and like how things go wrong in real estate. And of course, we'll talk about other stuff too, right? Like the market, I'm sure a little bit here and there, what's kind of going on locally here in the Boston real estate market. But bad deals only sounds like a fun time to commiserate and tell some war stories.
I think because we're in this so often, things can get occasionally repetitive. The bad deals are the ones, unfortunately, you remember. And they're the ones that people want to hear about.
Yeah. Have you ever sat in a tree before when you've done a podcast? This tree is abusing me at the moment.
Yeah, what it doesn't it looks like Galifianakis have between two ferns. We
could have put it right here. Good thing we don't have any more light leaks though. That was tough.
Hey, setting up for a podcast, the things that you don't really anticipate.
Well, it's funny. I not our first time being on a podcast, right? First time hosting one. Maybe.
I guess I did jump in. My business partner has one, and I've hopped in a couple times. But
shout out Jack. I'd hit the button for Jack, but the button is across the room because we have a better setup than you, Jack.
We don't put the laugh button right here. Yeah. Yes. So I've been on there. I feel like I've been a co-host, never a single host.
Yeah, we're dueling hosts.
Dueling hosts
yes. Here, and. Nick, Touchstone, huge law firm in the city. How many offices do you guys have now?
We are going to open our 10th on the South Shore this spring. Hingham. Yeah, didn't want to drop it right now, but we will. Not sure when this is going to air. Yeah, we will be in Hingham. I'm a South Shore guy where I grew up. A lot of my clients are in the South Shore or go from the city where I sit every day. Plymouth.
Oh, wow.
America's hometown.
Plytown.
You're welcome.
1620.
Yeah, Winthrop's here because of Plymouth. Dude. Yes.
Is that true? Yeah, it is.
I think we can say Topeka, Kansas here because of Plymouth. I think we started it all. Started it all.
I think they were both settled similar times. I'd have to fact check this. 1620 Plymouth Rock?
1620, yeah. The Rock is extremely disappointing, so I don't recommend anyone waste a day to go see it. Yeah. But hey, if you got to walk by it, it's nice piece of history.
Plymouth, I didn't know that. I feel I worked in Plymouth once.
Well, I think it's also because it's not a city. I think it's one of the biggest towns, at least this side of the Mississippi.
What is it? What's it? East Bay?
East Bay Grill. Yep. It was McGrath's when I grew up. So East Bay came in, and that was a real turning point for Plymouth. Wow. Because Plymouth wasn't
Cabbie Shack's right there.
Cabbie Shack's right there. That another great
Nothing
spot.
Like cracking a beer and maybe a lobster roll. Maybe your head as you fall down those stairs out back. I don't know.
Cabbie Shack, live music. They set a scene. Plymouth's changed. They have a lot of good things going on, but the South Shore in general will be there. My business, we're all over the place. So people always ask me how the market is, but we do deals a lot in New Hampshire, mostly Massachusetts, Rhode Island. We do some Maine, and we're always trying to expand. So we're all over. So as far as the bad deals go, we see them all over this wonderful New England region.
They're mostly just happening to me personally.
Well, I mean, some people say the common element there. Yeah, it might be me.
See, I like to think there's just so many of them, like transactions that we do that we just have more exposure. But you're right, like you remember the bad ones,
of course,
and they're always good. I got a couple in mind to share today that are good ones. I don't even know if I've shared them with you yet, but I think I did. But if not, I'll retell the story today. But
well, why don't you give a little background about why you're doing bad deals? Where are we sitting right now?
Yeah, so we're in our office here in Boston. So Reference Real Estate's office, shout out. to my own company, I suppose. Affiliated with Real Broker. We moved there in March. But yeah, we got a small office footprint right here in East Boston. And we spent some time. So I was on Jack's podcast a couple weeks ago. We got to talking. Jack kind of encouraged us to do this a little bit. And we were just spitballing like, dude, let's just do it. And then you called me the next day. You're like, hey, let's do this podcast. And I was like, I'm in. And then, of course, if I'm going to do something, I want to do something psychotically awesome.
Yeah, you never go half-ass in anything.
No, so I think it was 10 days ago. We hit up Nick, who's like we have a producer. Not this Nick, a different Nick.
He's in a...
He's Nick, the Light League guy. So I told him, I was like, this is what I want to do. He's like, hey, get this equipment. And then I was like, that's it. I'm building a studio. So literally we finished painting this, not me, but the contractor finished painting this. Like, I don't know if you're feeling okay because it smells a little painty in here right now. It was literally 2 hours ago. There was wet paint on the walls in here.
But this is why Seth doesn't have as many bad deals, because he has an issue and he solves it. And that's how you minimize bad deals, folks.
Yeah, we're just gonna get it done. So we built this studio, insulated, get the lights going, hooked up all the stuff, good setup. The furniture that I had didn't come in, so we stole this from the front of the office, and it's a little delayed today, but been a broker now for about 10 years, just slinging as much real estate as possible, Boston area. Grew up on the North Shore, live over here in Winthrop, right outside Boston now. So get about 20 plus agents, always looking for more good agents, again affiliated with Real Broker, and just excited to be producing, selling houses in a really, really tough market. We're having our best year ever. I'm sure you are too.
That's what I was just going to ask. I was going to say, a little off the bad deals topic. The good part about it is I feel like you are busy. So if you had to kind of hone in on one thing you think you're doing a little bit different than people that are struggling right now.
Yeah, listen, I think real estate is, I talk about this with the team all the time. If you want to put in the work, you will always be busy. Right? Like, we were just talking about it out in the front of the office. Like, hey, what's this leaderboard? And how many agents are in the office right now? Like, I don't know. There's 5-6 agents. Sure. It's like, what is it? It's 3:30 on a Thursday afternoon. Like, they're out there working still, trying to talk to buyers and sellers on the phone, setting appointments. They yelled at us they were being too loud because they were on the phone. And I think that's what we're doing. We're working. Hard work works. Right? So I tell these guys all the time, like, choose your hard. Not having deals is hard, and prospecting and doing the work is hard. You can pick it. And, you and I are very alike. We're working, answering our phone all the time. And I think just simply being available, but also at the same time, telling people straight what's going on. Like, I actually had a listing call yesterday.
I always say, and you tell me if I'm wrong, people really gravitate and respect confidence.
100%.
Like the beating around the bush.
What's the word? Is it gravitas? Is that a word? Did I just make that up?
No, gravitas is a word.
Yeah. Is that not the right word here?
I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, I think confidence is a perfect word. We'll cut that other part. But like, I think you just, first off, confidence comes from like knowledge, but also expertise. It doesn't come from like being cocky.
No, it's having a skill set.
You just know the market.
Yeah.
And so you're able to, like, when someone wants to challenge you about something, no. Like, that's not what's going on. So I literally had a seller call me yesterday. This building, it's a travesty in the next town over. Like, everyone's selling huge $200,000 special assessments.
Wow.
And she's concerned about is like, what's my commission? What's my commission? I go, listen, I got to see the unit. I don't know how much work this is going to take. Am I staging? Am I doing this? And I literally called her today. I go, listen, you can. I'm not interested. There's 17 units already on the market in this building. Call someone else who's going to lowball you on their commission, highball you on value, and they're not. I'll be broker number 2. I'm good with that. I've been broker number 2 a lot this year. It's fine with me. Meaning, like, someone tried to sell it, they lied to you, didn't work.
And I don't blame the consumer. Or the seller. I would put them in the consumer category. Someone who's shopping around for an agent to care about the number.
Sure.
But I also think, if she wanted $500,000 for a unit and you got her $700,000, does she really care how much more money you're making on that?
And that's what we always say all the time. Like, everyone gets so, and listen, it's easy to, like, not that I want to turn this into a commission conversation, but like, it's so easy to get caught up in what does everyone charge? They charge more, they charge less. But the reality is, the person who sells fastest for the most money or saves the client the most money. Like, we've talked about some of our development deals this year, by just through negotiation and positioning different offers, we've made our clients 5, 10, 15% more dollars.
Sure.
Or the deals that almost don't close for other issues that maybe are too soon to talk about.
I have to say this all the time when people come to me, they have a pre-approval from some lender, and then they inevitably call someone who gives some, pie in the sky rate. And I say, well, rates are only good as when they close. This price in the paper is only good when it closes. Everything else is hypothetical. Yeah. So you have to do all the other things to get it there. The agents that particularly think that are rushing the P&S, and they think once that ink is dry on the P&S, the money's in their pocket. It's really not the case. You have to get to the finish line, and the good agents are the ones that do, and then the great agents are the ones that show their value, so they get the call back and they get the referral. And you don't have to be, pounding the pavement as much. You're just picking up the phone calls of the people who want you.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's the thing too that we've done really well this year is and I'm sure you do this too, you have to have people, clients, prospects, whatever you want to call them, in all these different buckets. You have to be onboarding new ones. You have to be, you have to have writing offers for people. You have to be negotiating deals or inspections with people. You have to be signing P&Ss with people. You have to be 10 days out of closing with people. Yep. And we're really clear that you have to have each one of those buckets filled to be a busy agent.
Sure.
It's what I've always done. Because when you look at it that way, it's so easy to see the glaring hole in your business and then go fix that one piece. But I think, not to oversimplify the answer, hard work just works, and, but we've seen a lot of deals go down. And so,
well, I guess, it's pretty well known if people are listening to this, they probably are somewhat into real estate, but if we could just deal, we say it all the time, totally encapsulate the deal within our office, the deal probably would go smoother, or at least we'd be in full control of the issue.
Right.
Now you toss in your listing. We have a lender we're not in control of. We have a buyer's agent we're not in control of. We have buyers we may not be in control of. An inspector. We have all these different issues. And that's what really can lead to, we're on that track, headed towards closing, and all of a sudden we need to pivot.
Yeah. You just mentioned the inspector thing. What's the hot take, plus or minus, that you've seen now, 6-8 weeks post Massachusetts mandatory home inspection
This is
law?
going to be the worst take ever. Nothing's changed.
I completely agree with you.
I wish I had something controversial to say, but nothing's changed.
It's so funny. It's just like all the commission stuff a couple of years.
Can I give a little aside first?
Yeah, please.
Just today, I have a buyer who's unrepresented, so I was talking to the listing agent.
That's happening a lot.
And the listing agent just said, hey, I know the whole law thing, but just confirming they're not doing an inspection. That's
you're in trouble.
Verbatim what she said. And again,
that.
I get what she was saying. I get she was trying to get to a point because, let's be honest, that's what we all do. But there is a law in place where that is something that should not be said on a phone call.
Yeah. I similarly had a similar situation. Yeah, no shit, Seth. I had a conversation with a listing agent. I had the buyer, and they had just told us, hey, the deal's back on market because of an inspection issue. We fixed all the things. We'll tell you what they were. And sure enough, they did fix all the things. So I submitted an offer on the place with an inspection contingency, of course, because it's freaking required.
Of course.
And she was like, but wait, they're not really going to do another one, are they? We've already done one. And I literally just stopped. I go, that's the problem now, right? You can't say that.
Let's just accept this, then we'll have a talk.
Yeah. And the reality is, if I have a contingency to do an inspection, I'm just going to do the inspection. Why in my right mind would I try and break the freaking law and say, well, maybe, to get my offer? No, that's not happening. I've not seen that happen. I'm just blanket accepting. I'm not challenging. I don't give a crap about your home inspection. I have seen some come in with higher aggregates if they think it's going to be an issue.
Sure.
And I will tell you, the only thing I've seen change, new listing, old listing, is we're negotiating the inspection items.
Well, I'll give you my biggest take on inspections in general is we're lucky enough to do very, very high volume. I'm probably dealing with dead deals, not negotiating inspections, but dead deals over inspections 1% of the time.
I completely agree.
So like it's an issue, and I do understand where this law came from of like, hey, buyers were forced into buying things that they really didn't know. They were doing two things. They were paying higher numbers, and then they potentially had to put money into the property to get it to function the way they thought it would. But the way the law was written, I think they could have done 10 different things that would make it cleaner, but really nothing's changing in our market.
Yeah. Just on the bad deals comment, with inspections, this is a long time ago, but my pet peeve with any home inspection is, like, in my opinion, a home inspection, especially in a competitive offer situation, should really be made to solve hidden defects. So when the realtor, the buyer's agent I'm talking about, doesn't see the property, and then we're all surprised that the roof's 25 years old,
Sure.
or the furnace is from 1980. I mean, they all have freaking dates on them. Like, just look at the date.
Well, the other thing too is you have to really understand is, what are you buying? So
Buying a 100-year-old house.
So when you're buying the house, in Winthrop, and I'm going to put you on the spot here. What's the average price per square foot in Winthrop?
Dude, I hate price per square foot.
Okay, but I'm just going to say,
it's probably $375 to $425 for a single family house.
Perfect. So I'm guessing if you had a brand new construction, that could be up to $550 or something.
I don't even think it would be that high.
But it could be more.
Sure.
Right. So what people do is they say, well, it's a $30,000 roof. I want $30K, or I want this. It doesn't mean you get a brand new roof now. It's a similar thing. We do a little bit of landlord tenant. Like, people are like, oh, my heat was off for a day. I'm not paying rent in October. It's like, well,
you don't pay rent for a day.
But even that, like, occasionally it's not going to be a full rent abatement. We have to talk about how long is it down. But all of these things, just coming back to it, is it's not that easy. It's about negotiating. It's about making sure that, now you're aware of it.
Yeah.
And the seller's most likely, because of our inventory situation, going to say, yeah, it's an old roof. Now you're aware. The price is the price. We're not negotiating on it.
Right. I just hate, like, when people try and show up and they're all surprised. Like, we had somebody a couple months back ask for a $77,000 inspection credit on a property that was literally $550,000. I'm like, hey,
That's
guys,
a tough
okay.
one.
So just the facts are, the roof's old, which, like, it's obviously a fixer-upper at this price point. Like, so we all saw the roof. We all saw the old siding. You could see that the gutters weren't there. You went in the basement. You saw the furnace was 40 years old. You could have seen some of the asbestos on the pipes. Inspectors won't even tell you it's asbestos.
If my gripe with inspectors is the fact that they pick the middle line on everything, like everything's
that's their liability.
Everything's a maybe.
Yeah.
It's like I could be
sound like attorneys. Yeah.
This may be a window. I'm not sure.
It used to be. It has bars on it. It's not an egress, that's for sure. But it's like, so that's what bugs me. Like, listen, if there's something with an electrical outlet or the panel or plumbing that these are hidden defects, and they on call, I think that's absolutely something that should be negotiated. But, like, don't tell me the retaining wall in the front of your house is leaning. No shit, man.
The way I describe it to buyers, I say the inspector's going to give you a little X-ray vision. We can't see what's behind the wall, what's on the roof. These are things that they're going to tell you. But again, they're giving you information. This is not a price reduction. This is not the seller must do. The rule didn't change that way. The rule just said, now you can have the information. So when you pay that extra $100,000 for that house that's on the great street in the great town, you understand what those future costs might be to the physical condition of the house.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think in short, you nailed it. Like, nothing's changed. But I do see, even on a beautiful new condo or a worn down property, I am seeing a lot of minor adjustments, a couple $1,000 close cost credits. I would have
actually. Can I give you a preference, because I know mine. We have
cut them the money.
We have 10 items to fix. The list could be big or small. We've agreed that's around $5,000. Do you want fix or do you want money?
I want the money.
I want money too, because I think the level of completeness, the level of happiness with both sides, the timing of it just leads to bad deals.
What a great close there. Well, I'll give you an example. We did a transaction this year. I think you and I did, and there's a repair list. Fine, a bunch of it's electrical. Okay, so, like, fine, let's get it done. So we do the right thing, and we broker and get the licensed electrician in there. But, like, the reality is, like, do you think the buyer? I represented the seller. Do you think the buyer is coming back and looking in the panel? Do they know we did it? Do they know we did it right? Like contractually, sure, we're obligated to, and of course we did. But the reality is, if I just gave them $1,000, they can undertake a professional repair and do it right.
And let's be honest, usually they're coming in and going, hey, we'll do this, but I also recommend doing X, Y, and Z when I open up that wall.
100%. And what are we doing? We're doing the bare minimum. I mean, often, not us, right? Like, I'm not saying like,
but bare under the contract.
The seller's obligation is to do the bare minimum to solve the problem, and they're going to do it as cheap as possible to keep as much money as possible because they are selling the property. So you take the freaking credit 10 out of 10 times versus do the repair.
Agreed.
Couldn't agree more.
Agreed.
Now, that's what I would prefer. Listen, and of course, there's mitigating circumstances, difficult project, maybe huge repair, roof or something like that.
Sure.
Very visibly easy to, they put the new roof on. It looks great. It has an inspection or something like that. I think I can get behind whatever, but I'd rather hire the right person to do the job. So I know as the buyer, it's done right the first time, and you and I both know half the time they just pocket the money.
Well, which I'm okay with. Hey, you get a little minor fender bender, you're okay with that scratch on it, and you take the money. Like that stuff happens, right. But I think
isn't that insurance fraud?
Well, I mean, hey, I don't defend insurance companies, but it may be. I just think that people, again, the expectations. So many people are like, that paint, I can see a roller mark, or I can see this, and it's like, well, that a professional painter came in, and that's what it looks like. I always give the example, and it might be overkill, but it's like a Kia and a Bentley are both cars. They only had to give us a car. The seller's always going to give us a Kia. The buyer always wants the Bentley.
Yep, good analogy. But yeah, I often find that those repair lists are very overlooked at the end, and often not re-inspected. And again, we'll always do stuff the right way, but I take the cash.
And I will give a little tip to all my buyer's agents out there. Please, 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 at a minimum, get a picture of what you're walking into, because I get the call at 9 a.m. before the 10 a.m. closing. They didn't do anything on the punch list.
Right.
And for someone to be confused at that hour in the transaction without any knowledge just means that you didn't follow up and the communication wasn't there. Yep. And again, bad deals happen. I am equipped to solve those, but it makes everyone look better when that is a known thing. Even if it's not done, you can't change the hole in the wall wasn't patched, but telling them before you both see it together always softens the blow.
There's 3 things we do for every listing that I think cuts a bad deal. Ready?
Okay.
So
these proprietary? Is this first time people are hearing this?
Well, my sellers know about it. It's in a lot of our reviews.
Okay.
So we like to be full service, right? I'm sure there's a lot of brokers that say, hey, I have full service, but we're gonna go to the ends of the earth to make sure that your closing is easy. So moving sucks. We know how bad moving sucks.
Not
right?
great.
So it's not fun. So often I tell sellers at the end, hey, listen, first off, move the stuff that you got to move, right? And just move. It's all good.
This is like a decluttering thing.
So as we're getting a week out from sale.
Okay.
So let's say
we're under agreement.
Yeah, we're closing next Friday. Let's say so we're 6-7 days away from closing, and they're moving on Monday, right? So everyone gets so concerned with moving, right? And they're packing up all their stuff, but then all the other things that you have to do to get your house ready to convey, it has to be empty, it has to be clean. Everything, all the drawers are going to be empty,
sure.
This type of stuff. So I tell sellers, hey, listen, I want you to pack up and leave you're running from the FBI. Just take your shit and get ready and put it in the moving truck and go to your new house. Focus on unpacking your new house. All of that's that's the fun part. It's not fun, but that's what you should be focused on right now. So now the house is a disaster, right? It's because the drawers are full, the spices are there,
yes.
There's pickles in the fridge,
yep.
So we'll always get a professional junk company out. Just take everything else out of the house.
Love that.
You give me your go ahead, I'm throwing absolutely everything else away. And I make them send me an email, hey, we're all clear. Are you sure? Okay, everything else is junk.
Perfect.
Yep, good. I'm emptying the whole house. I'm not the broker who's surprised at the final walkthrough, fill in my car trunk with all the things that were under your cabinets. And it's funny, I got a bunch of broker friends. He always sends pictures. He's like, another bad closing, It's no bad deals here. So we're always junking out the whole house.
What you're calling out, Seth, is you're either going to do it proactively or reactively? So which one would you rather do?
Yeah.
It's going to be done at some point.
And I want to fill my SUV with trash from people's toothbrushes and stuff, right? Like, and listen, there's a lot of stuff they don't take, right? This is not an expensive lift. It is something that we include. Now, if you leave 10 dumpsters of trash, I'm going to bill you.
Understood.
That's also in our contract, but like, and people never take advantage of it, right? So, but there's a great company, shout out to Red's Rubbish. We use this almost all the time. They'll come in, they'll empty the entire house, give me a broom swept clean, but they'll clean out all the drawers, everything, all the stuff. Next thing we do, we're going to professionally deep clean the property. Again, not something we have to do to convey a property, but like the last thing you want to do is go to the final walkthrough with a buyer and a buyer's agent, and like the place is filthy, right? It's broom swept clean, which, people just moved. Like the place has never been dirtier, right? So we're going to go ahead, do like a move in, move out type clean. This place is freaking sparkling. The appliances are clean, and it smells good.
I don't often go to walkthroughs, but tell me, this is my interpretation of it. The second you see something that looks bad, you assume there's more to come.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this is the first time the buyer is seeing the home they're about to buy in the next 24 to 48 hours, right? The walkthrough, by the way, should be as close to closing as possible. And they're like, they probably haven't seen it empty, right? They've seen it nice, staged perfectly for sale. They might have seen it with boxes as the seller preps to move, right? But then it's empty. And now it's like, oh man, do I still love it?
Sure.
The last thing I want them to do is feel like crap because the sink's dirty or the appliances are gross. And they're like, oh my God. You know what they always do? They all go to professional to clean it. Or they talk to their broker like, oh, I thought this was supposed to be cleaner. Nope, not with us. We're just freaking cleaning it.
But I even get the more where like they're like, if they leave it this dirty, now I'm gonna go do an extra.
Let's go look in the attic.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm running that dishwasher 2
100%.
cycles. I need the shower to run for an hour just in case. Like all the door's making a noise I don't think it made before.
100%.
That screen's missing from the upstairs bedroom. All the fun stuff.
Yep. And the last thing we do too, like if the seller actually needs, like, this is probably less so for the buyer, but like we return people's Comcast equipment all the time. Right, because like they're moving. Like, who wants to on moving day?
They have me
go
addicted,
to freaking Comcast.
They have me addicted to that remote. I wish I could cut that relationship with Comcast, but I am. I don't know if I know how to connect Apple TV. So if anyone wants to come out and show me,
we cut the cord 2 years ago.
I can't, dude. I am in deep. I don't know how to do it.
All the menus are the same. We just use our phone. I believe in you.
Oh,
we'll have a shadow session.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So, as far as the podcast, right? So we'll eventually we'd love some stories from other brokers. We're going to probably drop a couple of our own nuggets.
Yeah. I think we are in it every day and we know kind of our own stories and have a ton of them, but hearing other people's, seeing their interpretation of what went wrong, and we just love to kind of give our 2 cents, comment on them or just kind of read or tell a story that's entertaining.
Yes. Do you have a couple to share today? I know you said you might have one.
I have like so many, especially in I think the more you start talking about something, the more rabbit holes you can go down. Like you brought like just a quick aside, like you brought up like square footage and hating it. I equally hate square footage because here's what I get. I get the buyer who walks into a condo and goes, they said it was 1,200 square feet.
Yep.
And nothing against fathers or uncles, but often they have a different set of eyes when they're looking at a condo and they start measuring things.
That's gonna be critical.
And they tell me that it's actually 1088, not 1200. Now they didn't take into account maybe a closet, maybe a hallway, something else, but then also the little language that says approximate on every single plan and disclosure that they got. So now what do? They take out the old calculator and they
want
say,
an $80,000 rebate.
This was $688 a square foot. I am going to deduct the square footage that I believe is missing, and I would like a price reduction. And
that happens. That can't be real.
All the time. All the time. And now I have to tell them that, that is just one of the ways of which, these algorithms and systems can calculate a price so they put it on there. But that is not. When you walked into The same four
Same place.
walls
You wanna buy
is
it.
the same exact place. So your interpretation of the price shouldn't just be on the square footage. Now, yes, if someone's blatantly lying to you or doing something nefarious, we got different terms for that. But this is just, hey, it was approximate. Again, it was a closet, it was a hallway, it was a deck or an egress that you probably wouldn't use.
Yeah.
But yes, people want to. They think that the square foot there is the same as the kitchen, is the same as everything else.
Right. I have never had someone attempt to renegotiate off of price per square foot and
You're a lucky man.
And a measured floor plan. Well, it's funny. Another little bad deals, no bad deals hack. Every listing I've listed in 7 years, I've done a freaking floor plan for.
Love it.
Right. And I have a very simple rule. And maybe
Will you still put town records up there, or do those automatically pull?
So I have a very simple rule. I use my measured floor plan or public record, whatever's bigger.
Okay.
Okay. Let's agree, public record is mostly a joke, in my opinion.
Yes. Well, at some point, they took some professionals' say on it. Like, it's not like they call the owner.
Did they go in the house?
So plans were approved at some point.
When?
Could have been an abacus did the plans, but like at some point,
it's like how everything's built in 1900. How is that possible when this place? 1620 Plymouth Rock. But you don't see many of those. Obviously there's some of them, but like we're just like every house is just by default built between 1877.
There's a lot of there was some bad record keeping back in the day.
Oh, or like back, even 100 years ago, everything was on fire all the time. So I actually learned this at a recent deal with us, which it's far too early for the
town of Winthrop had some great things happen. The great Mike Eruzione had some bad things happen.
had a huge fire and lost all their town records. So Winthrop's public records are not that great, right? So I was in a house literally earlier today. Public record called this thing like 1,900 square feet. I've been in enough houses like that thing's 2,500 square feet. I know it. It's all above grade. I'm going to measure it, and I'm.
Don't want to call it out, Seth, but do we have an illegal build, a little bump out? We have a 4-season porch that maybe no one knows about.
There may not be an addition that, according to the lack of public records, I could not affirm nor deny if permits were pulled for it.
Understood.
Often the jackets in Winthrop are fairly empty. Due to this public records, the great public records fire.
Understood. We don't like to talk about it. Never again.
But like you just know, like, okay, well, this is straight up. It is what it is, and like we're gonna measure it, and they'll do their MLS review, and they'll probably change public record potentially after the fact, especially if I have a floor plan. The appraiser is gonna take my floor plan. By the way, he's gonna do his own floor plan and confirm those measurements. And as long as this thing is above grade, it's often passing. But if there's a giant discrepancy, sure, we'll get the city or the town involved. But like the reality is, if a floor plan calls out something different than the public record and it's bigger, I'm saying, hey, I used my floor plan. That's what I used to measure it, and here's what the floor plan says.
And
that's still disclosed.
Put this back in your court, because again, I don't have to see this stuff, but I have an opinion on it. I'm disclosing, if I had to list something, everything, because I just see the lack of disclosure, if known, not asking a million questions, but if known, because when things come back to you when they weren't disclosed, that's when sellers' backs against the wall. I'm talking like, people saying 6-bedroom when they know the 2 in the basement were done by the grandfather, definitely not bedrooms, instead of saying bonus room or something like that.
Yeah. So in this ridiculous example, I would call it a 6-bed, and I would just disclose that 2 bedrooms are in the lower level, likely not legal bedrooms.
Oh, great! But that's a disclosure. That even though you have kind of the overall search engine getting the 6-bedroom, you're still telling them what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, from a disclosure standpoint, I've actually ebbed and flowed through. Is it getting hot in here yet?
No, our great engineer Nick told me to stay close to the mic, so I felt like I was drifting.
I'm on fire from this.
Well, you're next to it. I feel like I have a little bit of a buffer.
I thought I turned it down, but it's going to be like 9 degrees out tonight, so it's good. What were we saying? So I completely
disclosures.
So I've ebbed and flowed. Thank you. Out of disclosure, like I did sales disclosure for every property for years. And then riddle me this, kind of a bad deal anecdote.
Okay.
I was selling a single family in Salem, Massachusetts years ago.
Yeah.
And we did a seller's disclosure. We disclosed that all of the work was permitted. Okay. Because to our understanding.
Did you name the work or just say, renovations under the seller's control was permitted?
Yeah. You know how like the seller's disclosure say, hey, has any work been performed? Yeah. Were permits obtained? Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Was it
general?
Was it by a contractor? Yes. Unknown name or disclose the name. I can't remember. Or like sometimes it's just by the homeowner, right? So we did that, and there was a couple other issues at the property, like the garage door wasn't functional. We disclosed it. Hey, sometimes the basement gets water. Disclosed it.
So far, sounds great.
Right. So we get to. I had like 28 offers on this project. This is back in like hot market days. R.I.P.
We'll get there.
And this thing got blown up 100K over asking. From like a $500,000 price point. We're into the low to mid sixes. Like worried about appraisal, all the appraisal gap language is in there, right? And so whatever, we take this offer from a broker who is like kind of your quintessential like North Shore broker who like very by the book. I'm trying to not be like mean.
I've been doing this for 30 years.
It's one of those people, yeah, for sure. And we get to this stalemate at the PNS. And they're refusing to sign the PNS, by the way, saying that we committed overt fraud in the seller's disclosure because
some strong language.
Because the sump pump that is installed in the basement was not permitted. Okay, now if you don't know what a sump pump is, it's a fucking pump that you buy at the hardware store and you just place it on the ground.
Well, there's different levels, but at a minimum, it's a plug-in.
It's a plug-in pump with a corrugated hose that you can stick out any exit of the property,
or even in the property. Sometimes they have those internal drains.
That's correct. And this one went through a basement window, like kind of like a dryer vent.
Got it.
With like socks.
Okay.
You get the picture that I'm painting here?
Yeah.
And they're like, this is not permitted. Okay, so my reaction, I said, go fly a kite. It's a sump pump. Who cares? I can go pick it up and put it in a bucket and go put it in the garage. And now it's uninstalled. However, the basement actually gets water.
Sure, yeah.
And
it served a function.
It's just in like a little, like 6-inch recessed square. This isn't like rocket science here.
Sure.
No one, reported the foundation for this sump pump. This went on for 3 freaking days. Refusing, asked for huge seller concessions, potentially wasn't moving forward. Okay, so let me get this straight. And this is where it was first off probably not very nice. I was much meaner a few years ago. I've tried to really, believe it or not, calm down. No, because the relationships are super important. But like this is where I get super frustrated. You're telling me a client who is paying $100,000+ over asking on this house came to three out of 3 open houses and spent more than half the time there and went through highest and best, all the things, waived all the stuff back then, right, to win this property. You're telling me that they said, gosh, unless this sump pump's permitted, I'm not moving forward. You're telling me that that's their opinion.
Because there's so many layers to this, because I see it from sometimes the 30,000 foot view. So sometimes it's, hey, the broker is trying to say, hey, we know you paid a ton for this. Let me show you some value.
Great.
Sometimes it's an attorney that is a permit hound because he got burned once or he's local in the town and he wants to call it out. And then sometimes it's that uncle who said, hey, I had a sub pump once that failed because it wasn't put in right or permitted, and now they're going down this road. But it's usually never the actual consumer who has the problem.
Yeah, and this is why I love working with the guys at Touchstone, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like, well, why don't we just talk to the client and see what the client wants to do? I think sometimes too, like we can still give all those opinions, but at the same time, like I just challenge the broker. I go, listen, go call your client and just simply give me their answer. If they're unwilling to move forward because of this, because
we're at the open house, we have plenty of people to buy this place.
Like I have so many other people. Yeah. We're talking $3,000 less. I'm not going to deal with this bullshit about a sump pump. And by the way,
we all know you're setting a tone there too. This transaction's at the beginning, right?
Yeah,
like you're
correct,
setting a tone for the next 30 days.
We know this will be a bad deal if we don't figure it out. And by the way, like, shame on me, like Salem, believe it or not, if you install a sump pump, requires it to be permitted. Which I've literally never heard of.
I would think that it would have to be associated with something else to have to be permitted, like an actual plumbing mechanism. Just because, again, everyone knows a little red sub pump. It costs $80 and you plug it in.
Fact checked.
Okay,
they were right. Crow for me, I suppose.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, push came to shove, and I just like sent a scud across. I go, please call your client, let him know that this transaction is going to die instead of executing the purchase and sales, because you're a bull in a china shop about an unpermitted sump pump and claiming that we committed fraud. The guy homeowner didn't even
start off the right way.
The homeowner didn't even know.
Correct.
Like, because he just wanted his basement to stop flooding. Why don't you chill out? And within like an hour, buyers all set, we're moving forward. And so I was so frustrated because that took 3 days. And you know that like you're losing buyers by the minute in that hot market.
I don't even think about that. I think about what we talked about at the beginning. You're not in control of people. And unfortunately, your client, regardless if it's buyer or seller, doesn't understand. I don't say doesn't understand, but the deal's either a good deal or a bad deal. They usually don't go, Seth, you crushed it. I know they were really difficult. It's just like, oh, this wasn't smooth. This wasn't what I expected. Right. This wasn't, I wish it went differently.
Right.
And your hands are a little bit tied at that point.
Right. So anyway, this was all about seller's disclosure. So we did seller's disclosure on almost everything for a really long time. And then like, I just came to the epiphany. I go, why am I doing this? And I kind of stopped saying anything. I said, buyers to do all due diligence, right? Because I like that whole fight was, you told me something that wasn't true.
Sure.
And so
do you remember if they did an inspection? Like how?
No, there's no inspection.
Okay.
I mean, this was, again, years ago, and super competitive. I mean, the top 10, 15 offers had no inspections, right?
No, what's funny is like they must have known someone in the town, because usually like something that small would have just got put into like some plumbing permit, that no one would have ever even been able to really delineate what was in there or not.
Yeah, but you're right. It's someone who has been doing this a long time. Things were definitely probably slower. I don't know what it is. Like, I just think those things are so minor, and like that's not what you're paying me for in this deal. It's for my negotiations. It's the thousands I'm going to save you, either now or at the end, or it's the expertise and when things go awry in the deal to keep it on track. It's not to break everyone's chops or balls, whatever, at the beginning of the deal about stuff. And quite frankly, I mean, I don't know about you. I think the vast majority of homeowners are not pulling permits on properties.
I think it really depends on what you're doing, because if you I also think, growing up, it was a lot of, hey, my buddies are coming over, I'm gonna get some pizza and beer, we're gonna fix something, because people were a little more handy. Maybe it's just the demographic of people I hang out with, but they look more like this than soft hands. So now you're naturally hiring people just because you don't have the skill to do it.
Yeah, I agree. So so I think that's another thing that's probably coming down the pipe. My understanding is there's some legislature going on right now around mandatory seller's disclosure, which, listen, I'm all for. I think
it has to be things that you can disclose too. There's so many things that people are like, I have no clue if that's right, wrong, or like, I lived here for 10 years. I don't think we did much. We did, we put a recessed vanity in, or we did this thing. Like I think we hired this company. And then also, I mean, who's ever tried to call back a plumbing company and, oh, that guy left, or this closed, or it was sold, and now you're trying to track someone down. So I think if that becomes the case and we do start having permitting issues, the towns have to step up and be way more willing to come and understand circumstances happen, instead of holding things up. Or, Boston, I remember the inspectional services division told me, they're like, Nick, stop putting this permit thing in that they can close out permits. Like, we can't close that permit out from 2003 because the code changed. So legally, you'd have to open up a brand new permit, which is fine for the same exact work, because we cannot say that permit was good in 23 because it's in 2003, because it's not good in 2023.
How annoying is it that all these things just aren't more standardized across just Massachusetts, period?
Well, again, you were talking about, one town having a sub pump, one not. Yes, it would be way easier if we all knew what a standard was, or like it'd be nice if that home inspection you paid for actually told you about that stuff, and made the point. Like, but they all can't be experts in every town that they're in.
This is not a home inspector friendly podcast. I feel like I love the guys at Mayflower. I love my guy Brett at Indian Rock. They're great people, but I actually blame, and I'm not shit talking inspectors to be clear, I blame the agent, because the agent, and I tell these guys all the time, if you're writing an offer on a property, you gotta go to it. None of this sight unseen bullshit, especially now with the inspection law.
Sure.
And then trying to negotiate all this stuff because you couldn't clearly manage your client's expectations on the old stuff that was at the property.
Well, often talks I have is, I said, did you go to the property? Yeah, we went to the open house on Saturday. So they're like, we have the inspection on, Wednesday. Well, you probably kind of know what the issues are. You went through it, right? Were you in the basement? Were you here? And people are like, yeah, the bathroom's a little old. Yeah. This was done, so they get it. Again, back to my comment about like the inspector's supposed to give you a little bit X-ray vision. Like, yes, we assume that plug there and that plug there are done right. If he puts his sensor in there and figures out it's not grounded, that's something you couldn't see with your naked eye.
Yeah. And by the way, every inspection has one of those, and every inspection has a double tap on the panel. And these are $100 issues to an electrician. They're not reasons to blow up deals.
So I think that's a great segue into my issue with agents is because everyone has their own level of comfort, they usually kind of come in a little hot. Then they're more alarmist than they are.
I agree.
Giving hey, make a comment like, hey, if my sister was buying this house, I'd be okay with that. Or that seems normal for this age or this neighborhood. Instead of like I can't believe they don't have this there. Well, the people have lived here for 50 years and raised 3 kids. It's worked perfectly fine.
Right. So we always try to like actually show clients at first showings, especially the first few times we've ever been out with them. We'll stand on the exterior of the house for 5-10 minutes. We'll talk about all the exterior, talk about the roof, we'll talk about the gutters, we'll talk about the electrical service. Like, I'm trying to give them some transferable product knowledge about this property. And then, we spend the most time in the basement looking at stuff, pointing out things like visible knob and tube. Like, don't find knob and tube at a home inspection and ask for $20,000 off when you could see it with your face. You know what I mean? So that's what I've taught these folks to do a lot. And I think that's what the consumer wants to freaking know. Because you know what they can probably already do that they're not doing, that they're going to start doing, is go on a ChatGPT video and start doing it for you. Because
didn't know you could do that, but that's pretty good.
I'm sure you've already seen the ChatGPT email responses to some things that
it's very my purchase and sales. People forget
they put the whole thing in.
Well, they forget a very simple thing to be like, make this mass specific. They just go analyze this purchase and sale, and so they start calling out things that are multi-state or not mass specific or don't understand the statutes. So those are the things.
You know what would be better? Hey, Nick, I'm going to take you up on that 10-minute time that you offer me.
And but as you know, I give a great summation of a purchase and sale.
I agree. Yeah, it's just so annoying to me. I've just started calling people out, and I said, listen, I know it's easy for you to throw everything I'm saying to ChatGPT to see if I'm telling you the truth or what the internet thinks. I'm happy to just walk you through it on the phone because that's kind of, I don't know, now we're just complaining about agents and people in the industry. Everyone wants to send 20 emails about stuff. And no one wants to just solve it in one quick phone call.
Well, and
that's where this industry needs to get
harping back to the inspector a little bit. The other thing I try to tell buyers is the biggest thing you're getting out in this inspection is how the house works.
Right.
This is where the heater is. This is where the filters are. This is where this happens, because those are the things when you're living there for 6 months and you see the leak, it's like, oh, I remember he tagged the water shut off. Let's go start there. Like that's what I like is, you haven't lived there. And then when I first started, I had sellers at home inspections telling about the house and leaving notes about the contracts that were there. And for good or bad, that's just changed. Where now people are like, hey, I've already moved on, and even legally we kind of say, hey, let's not say too much because it could be a representation that, they could rely upon. And if it's not right, we could be in this area of water. So, but it used to be much more a collaborative approach.
Friendly, yes. I think COVID changed a lot of that, right? Like, I remember my first closing. I mean, there was like 10 of us at a table.
And how long do those take? Dude, because everyone talks and people try to be nice to each other, which I appreciate, but oh man, it takes a while.
The only good outcome of that is people actually got the keys to the property they bought. Because right now, like, I don't know how that happens.
The first thing I say is I go, I go, do you have any questions? The one thing I don't know is where the keys are going. So lock boxes, I feel like have helped.
Yeah. The amount of money I just spent on abandoned lock boxes is probably tough. But all right, so let's we're coming up kind of on time here, I think. So
you tell me.
Let's rip a bad deal story to wrap. Is that cool?
Yeah. Do you want to start or do you want?
I'm happy to tell a tale.
Oh, I love to hear it. Yeah. Is this Sans touchstone? Am I involved?
Oh, you're not.
Okay.
You're not. I think Brendan was though. I think Brendan was. I didn't tell you, but this is about the property in East Boston.
Well, we've done a few there. You've done
ready?
many.
So this is a good one. So I had a wonderful family sell their 2-family in Revere. Okay. And beautiful, $1 million 2-family property, West Revere, really well landscaped. You could just tell they fully owner occupied.
Took care of it.
They took care of it, right? And this is again back pre home inspection, years back. So I did all the things to prep them for what should be like a competitive bid on the property. So I actually hired my own home inspector to pre-inspect the property.
Awesome.
Very, very rarely done.
No.
But trying to get to a removal of an inspection contingency back then with that. And also there was a bunch of stuff that came up. We fixed a lot of it, which is great. And we go to the market. I thought the house was worth around $920 at the time. And we agreed to list it, I think at $919 or whatever it was, $920-ish, whatever. And so we go to the market and I think 10 days go by and I end up getting a full price offer on the property. Okay. So and this is in the interest rate run up environment. Okay. So rates just had come out of 2s, 3s, 4s. Now they're 5s, 6s, 7s.
Yeah, okay. So
right. And
tougher.
Yeah. It's a little bit tougher, but still a really nice property.
And what was not to get you off the story, but what was the intention of the buyer? Were they going to move into it? Was this an investment property?
Okay. Owner occupied. Yeah. Wonderful family was going to buy the property. So they write an offer, basically list price. I mean, it's on the market for 2-3 weeks. Like, what would you do?
Sure.
Like, kind of nice to just give us ask. To be honest with you, right?
Because a year ago it was $80,000, $100,000 over.
Well, right. But so but like, I guess what I'm getting at is like, if it's listed at $920, it's been on the market for 3 weeks. Guess what? They didn't get. Like, they didn't get their list price. So to hand me list price as a buyer's agent, like, thank you, right? Like, I'm probably up against a price cut conversation with my client, which I hadn't had yet, right?
It's so sad that 3 weeks that in this market, it means it. It's like our consumers need instant sales.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it was back then. That was the mentality, right? I mean, think about it. I pre-inspected this house to make sure like they'd waive their inspection back then. So I was still expecting multiple offers. But anyway, I'm trying to keep this story not super, super long. So my client's like, we're not taking that. We're not taking that offer. That offer's ridiculous. I was like, wow, that's like, I didn't see that coming. So I have this really good like script I use with people. I go, yeah, I understand. And listen, folks, we have 2 options here. I guess what we could do is we could raise the price of the property, right? Which is the point of this pitch is to sound insane. Right. So
we're getting there.
Since it was on the market for $920 and it didn't sell yet for the last 3 weeks, and someone finally came, Nick, and gave us $920, which is the price we've been advertising, and you're not happy with that. So what we should do is, what's the number you are happy with? Well, we want $960. Oh, okay. Well, just to know, it's highly unlikely at this point, like less than a 3% chance someone's going to just bid up this house right now to get that number. So the only way you're going to get it is just tell the world that's the number you're going to accept. So I go into the MLS, I raise the price. There's actually less matches now for the people, and everyone who's come, who like we've had 100 people to the house.
Yeah, you just disqualified some people.
Like they all said, nah, not for me at $920. We're going to say, now we want $960, right? So that's option 1, Nick. Sound good? Okay. The option 2 is you just find a way to maybe work with these people, counter them, maybe tell them you wanted a little bit more money, find out, $920 is, by the way, what it's worth. It's what I said it was worth. And we see if we can work a deal with those. Which one do you think sounds best? And obviously the intent of this is to be like, hey, Seth, you're right. Let's take the $920. And
please tell me they went with A.
The 3 decision makers were like, $960 sounds good. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. So like an asshole, I went home and I freaking raised the price to 960. Okay. So,
I mean,
fine.
That's can I go back really quick? The 920 conversation. Were those three people there for it, and they seemed good with it before it went live?
100%. But they thought it was going to get bid up over asking. So they were fine with this perceived market value, thinking that we were going to get
understood
$1.02 million. But guess what? It doesn't happen.
But that's kind of like a 2-week max. If you're not getting people in there.
Yeah, it's a short window. That's why I was saying we were lucky to get 920 at that point. After I see 3-4 weeks in the market, I say they're looking at a price correction. Sure. If I'm price correcting, I'm going 2, 3, 4, 5%. They're going at $8.99 anyway. We should go at $8.80. Okay.
Yep.
So anyway, no deal. No deal with these people. The buyer's pissed. Or they're offended.
Wouldn't have been happy.
Unhappy about it. A ridiculous listing. Hey, now we want 960. And so the story goes on. So I now literally raised the price to 960. Now listen, that still comps out. Like in reality, sure. But like no one showed up at 920. They're not going to show up at 960. So believe it or not, like fast forward maybe like 6 weeks later, I get them 960. Lo and behold. So there's a catch though. These people have to sell their house in East Boston. The buyers.
Okay.
However, it's in Jeffries Point.
Nice neighborhood.
Okay? Probably the most expensive part of East Boston. It's on a double lot. It double ends to a different street. This is like development central.
Sure, sounds fantastic.
This is in the hustle bustle of Eastie. Very desirable location. They already have it under contract. Okay.
Tell me the bet. When are you going to drop this other show?
Dude, it gets so good. They send over send me the redacted contract. I don't know. I don't need the names or whatever. They don't redact it. They send it over. They're selling a purpose-built 3-family with a double lot with garages on the other side. Okay. For $1 million. Okay. This is like a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 haircut. So I'm selling this 3-family at the same time. I know that like this contract is as good as it gets. There's no way the buyer's walking away from this property. The buyer's an LLC. I know the LLC buyer. Like this is the deal of a century on this property. And my clients who are all like, they hated the home sale. I go, listen, not only did we already raise the price here, but we got you this price. They're paying cash. They just have to sell this, and it's already pending.
They're selling the Taj Mahal here. This is great.
Like this is the best case scenario. They just needed 60 days to close, and my sellers were upset at how long it was going to take. But that was the predetermined time in the contract.
But the second hypothetical buyer needs forever to close. So we'll take who we have in front of us.
Yeah, we're lucky we didn't raise the price to like $1 million, dude. So we finally ink this deal, right? And we fast forward. We're like a week from closing, right? I didn't tell you this story already.
I don't think so.
So this is real. This really freaking happened. So my clients every week are very antsy about.
Are they living there?
They were living there.
And where are they going?
They're trying to move out of state.
Got it.
They're trying to buy out of state. So there's a lot of pressure.
Sure.
They have this other deal that they got going on, right? And I'll never forget it. I'm watching the news, like it's 5:30 p.m. They just got home from work or whatever, right? And like, just like kids are running around the kitchen. It's all good. And my wife's like, oh, check. Don't you have a listing near this property? And I'm like, Fox News is on or something. And I run over and it's like, it says the address at the back, like property collapse in East Boston. And I was like, huh? And I'm like, that address sounds like really familiar. So I go and I'm like, oh shit. I go into my email real quick. I pull up the PNS. It's the house these people are selling. So this golden deal that had like no way. This freaking the house they were selling.
I just picture these sellers going,
dude,
I told you, Seth.
The house fell down. It fell down. It collapsed.
That big bad wolf man. He gets you every time.
I'm not even joking. As on my jaw, I was like, and Jen's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm in a deal. I'm in a deal with like this. This sucks. This is not fucking good. I swear to God, ring. Who is it? It's my seller. And she's like, hey, how are you? how
Been better.
So I didn't say anything at first because like I don't know, I don't have all the facts.
Understood.
And I think this is where
Now, what is this? Are you reading a script at the bottom, or are you seeing pictures of like rubble?
I mean, it was like one whole demising wall of this property.
Okay.
It's now condemned. The fire department's there.
So like the little thing at the bottom, it wasn't like up for interpretation. Like you're like this thing's no one's buying
housing
this.
collapse, address, location. It's what I've looked up before, and I'm like, this can't be real, right? So something I never do is I never will inform a client of something until A, they need to know, and or see, it's because it's 300 degrees in here. You're getting a little sleepy.
I'm probably in the same boat. I have to be a little more
you have
tactful.
to disclose something.
I have to be more tactful. Yeah. But yes, I think so. And not to cut you off, but the first thing I tell my team is we need to say something like, "Hey, we're going to get back to you on something." But I play this game. I go, "Okay, you tell the client this fell down." They're going to go, "Now what?" So
and
if
you say, "I don't know."
So if you don't have the now what answer, then it's not worth telling it at the time.
Well said. Very well said. So that's what we try and do a really good job of. We have to get the now what, and here's your three options. I've already pre-negotiated the best one, I think. I just need your go ahead.
Yep.
And they're like, "Thank you." And that's what they pay us for at
Yep,
the end of the day,
agree.
right? Because if you're the broker who plays telephone, all you do is freak out everybody.
And the story changes every 2 seconds.
100%. And then they play telephone with all their friends and family. And that's how you get dads and uncles and their brokers, friends, and their sister who sells real estate in Florida telling me what to do and whatever. So she calls me and we just have a normal conversation for like 20 minutes. And I was, she's like, "Hey, do you know how the sales going?" I go, "I don't." I reached out for an update actually pretty recently. I think it was yesterday. Sounds like we're still on track, but I'm not sure. Like I want to, I need them to tell me. And I'm like, I probably should have said something about it. But then she goes, "Hey, before you go, I think I was watching the news about 30 minutes ago, and I think their house fell down." I go, I'm sorry, like what? And I obviously acted like a little surprised at the time. And I was like, I think maybe next time you call me, that would be...
We lead with that.
Yeah. Like, "Hey, are you sure their home sale's good because it fucking collapsed?" So fast forward, believe it or not, a couple more months of extensions. Not great. The buyer still performed on that property. They assigned all the insurance money.
I was going to say,
we freaking closed this
the
deal.
way that P&S works, they probably saw that as $1 million now with the house that fell down as an even better development opportunity. And they got the insurance money. So Correct. They probably got $800,000 cash back,
they did.
paid $1 million, and then sold it for 1.3.
Yeah, that's what happened. But I mean, so that was the time I sold a property and the home that they were selling to buy it fell down.
That is a unique one. Wow.
That was a good one.
I love it. Hey, but you came out the other side.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of back and forth. I'm sure a lot of emotions involved. And hopefully the clients, saw the value. I might be in the boat that the crazy part of the story was raising the price. after 3 weeks.
At the end of, yeah, that's not how. It's funny, like that whole concept is like, oh, the client realizes how preposterous this is. And they're like, I didn't know we could do that. You've raised the price before. I go, well, I mean, only like once in a ridiculous scenario. And by the way, it just really never works. And they're like, we'd like to actually get that shot. I go, I don't think I explained this right.
There once was a mountain in front of the house. It fell down. Now it's an ocean front. So we raised it.
I remember coming back to the office and I talked to Malika and I go at the time, she goes, because she was really involved in that transaction. She goes, "How'd that go?" I go, "We're raising the price to $960." She goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah, what about?"
You gave the AB story again, didn't you?
Yeah. And she's like, "That doesn't sound like it went well." And then we're all going to work the open house. Like, what the F are we doing here? Why did we raise the price? Not sold.
Oh.
And then, yeah, man, we got it.
Story.
Of course, they came in low. And I go, "Listen, I'm not, did you see the price history? Like, I got an offer, man, and they wouldn't let me take it. The price, this is the minimum dollars they're willing to accept."
I hate to be this guy, but here's what's happening next.
And I go, if you leave the 99 cents off of this one, it's no
Correct.
deal, dude.
Yes.
I mean, I'll cop you the buck, but like, just do me a favor and just write it.
I love it.
And we got it done. So
I love it. That's awesome, man.
That's one of my top fives.
I love it.
Mostly a happy story.
I love it. So what is this going to be episode 1, you think? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it might be. I think we might be able to cut it up for 1 or 2. But
Perfect.
yeah.
I love it.
You good to wrap?
I
Bad deals only. We'll add an intro and an outro.
was that a gang sign or what was that? It was just peace. Okay, it was actually an anti-gang sign.
Yeah,
it was just peace.
Cool. Good. Peace out. Thanks for listening to the Bad Deals Only podcast. If you like this content, share it with a friend or a family member or somebody in the industry, and subscribe and share.